Hello, my name is Lindsay Milner and I work for Silver and Training. We're a training and development consultancy and we work mainly with non-profit organisations to help them to create awesome workplaces. And I want to talk to you today about an article that I came across in a recent issue of the Harvard Business Review. And this article was presented as a case study, and the question it poses is, can you change a toxic culture without laying people off, without firing people? There were no solutions in the article. It was just presented as a problem and asking people to put forward their solutions. And it described the experience of the chief operating officer who went out to a particular manufacturing plant, an organisation that had to turn around since the recession because the economic situation, they had to make cutbacks, and whilst other plants in the business had turned around and were working quite well, this one particular plant was still having problems. And when she went out there to see, she discovered that it was what she called a really toxic environment. I'm not going to go through the whole scenario. If you want to, I'm going to put the links underneath this video, so if you want to read it, you can go read it for yourself. But I do want to address the main question: can you change a toxic culture without layoffs, without getting rid of people? And I think you can. It's not going to be easy. Well, I guess actually the answer is yes and no. It's not going to be easy. It's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take good leadership, good management. And yes, you might have to make some difficult decisions and part company with one or two people who are not necessarily willing to change, are not willing to address things and help to overcome the problems. But I don't think it's we've got to get rid of these people because they're toxic, let's start again. I don't think it's as simple as that. I don't think that would work. What I found really interesting was the comments at the foot of the article, and most people were of the mind that you can change the culture without firing people. And as I say, if you know anything about me at all, you won't be surprised that that is my view as well. But there was one comment in there from a respected author who took the view that the CEO needed to go. And I thought, I was quite taken aback when I read this. I was like, oh, I hadn't perceived that the problem stemmed from the CEO. And this commenter took the view that the CEO was right for the organisation when it needed to be turned around, when the financials were in difficulty and cutbacks needed to be made and rationalisation, but he is not now the right person to take the organisation forward by defining a vision and creating a good culture. Now, whilst I think that the employees need to be given a chance to turn things around in terms of the culture, in terms of the toxic environment, I also think that the CEO probably needs to be given a chance too. He's being challenged by his head of HR and by the woman in the case study, the chief operating officer. They are saying that they need to do some work on changing the culture and not lay more people off, whereas the CEO wants to just lay people off and start again. Now, if the CEO is willing to listen to his senior management team, his trusted advisors, then he can be persuaded to give it a try. If he is not willing to listen, then obviously that says so much about the culture, and it does indeed say that the problem probably stems from the CEO. If that happens, then the board needs to step in and take some action, in my view. And if the board wants to take action and wants to replace the CEO, then again, that says something about the culture. It says that they are willing to listen and willing to make changes when they're necessary. If they're happy to just let the CEO come down with a firm hand, make the final decision, not listen to the advice of his senior management team, then again, it says a lot about them and their leadership. So I think the whole thing actually comes down to culture. And whilst the culture in this one particular plant is toxic, it doesn't necessarily mean that that culture comes right from the top, and that if the top does show good leadership, then they can turn that around. That is my view, and as I say, most of the comments that were on the article were of a similar view. I was also listening yesterday to a podcast, an interview with the head of Gallup, talking about employee engagement, and he says that 70% of good engagement comes from the manager. That is the key factor. The 70% of how good the management is at encouraging engagement, that's how much of an effect it has compared to other factors. So again, that shows just how crucial management is. And again, the head of Gallup also said that the unit, it can be within, and it does need to often be considered within a small unit. The culture across an organisation can vary because of the unit that you're in. So I think that kind of bears out really that the culture does come from the top, but the top might just be the top of your little bit and not the top of the whole organisation. So personally, I think that the CEO in this case study does need to be given the opportunity to show that he can lead in a time of change, but the change isn't just the cost cutting and let's look at the financial figures. So that's my thoughts on this case study. If you want to check it out, as I say, I will be putting the link. The link will be at the bottom of this video. Take a look and let me know what you think. I'll be interested to see your comments. My name's Lindsay Milner, Silver and Training. Look forward to speaking to you. Look forward to seeing your comments in the comment box, and we'll catch up with you again next week. Bye.